Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Lori and I will be your host. I'm so glad that you can join us today. Okay, are you ready to learn some more tips and tricks about the IELTS academic exam and how to prepare for it? So let's begin. Okay, as I said, welcome. It's great that you are here with us today. Let's get started. Firstly, I would like to know, what do you know about the IELTS academic exam? Please send me your comments to the chat box. If you have any questions, you can send it through to the Q&A and I will get to those at the end of our webinar. Excellent. Great. So what do you know about this exam? Okay, so the IELTS academic test measures whether you have the level of English language proficiency needed for an academic higher educational environment. It reflects some of the features of academic language and assesses whether you are ready to begin studying or training. So this is a fantastic exam to prepare for. So if you're taking a look at it, I suggest that you take a look at all of our ways in which you can prepare for it. Okay, I've received a comment here saying there are two different types of IELTS exams. Yes, you are correct. There is the general and there's the academic. But for you and I today, we're going to take a closer look at the academic. Thank you for all your comments. Well done. So I would like to know which skills are tested in the IELTS academic exam. Do you know? Okay, I'm going to quickly host a poll. Here are some options. A, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Is it B, reading and use of English, writing, listening, and speaking? Or is it C, reading and use of English, writing, and listening? Which one do you think it is? Here is our poll. Please submit your answers. Great, just 5 more seconds. Thank you, everyone who's answering. Some of you have said B, some said A. Okay, 5 more seconds. Great. Thank you, everyone. Okay, for all those who said, ding, 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 ding. Hey, good job. Well done. It's reading, okay, writing, listening, and speaking. But let's take a closer look at these skills. Okay, firstly, academic reading. Academic reading is in 3, okay, so you're going to be reading 3 passages, okay, 11 different task types. Now, each of these tasks will consist of 40 questions. So all of it will be 40 questions and it will be 60 minutes long. It's important to know how the exam is structured and how these parts are broken up so that you can feel more prepared. Okay, great. So 60 minutes long. The next section is writing. Okay, how is this one broken down? Okay, so there are 2 tasks in total. Let's take a closer look at task 1. You would have a graph, chart, table, diagram, description. Okay, so that's how it's broken into different tasks. And then for task 2, you would have an essay. So your essay would be either argumentative or it will be discursive. Okay, so you would either agree or disagree. The writing section is 60 minutes long, but each task has a certain time limit. So task 1 would be 20 minutes and task 2 would be 40 minutes. Please remember to send any questions that you might have about these skills. Our next skill is listening. Okay, let's take a look at how this one is broken down. There are 4 recordings in total that you'll be listening to. 40 questions will then be asked. There'll be 6 task types in total. And this whole section will take 30 minutes long. And finally, speaking. This is how this one is structured. There'll be 3 parts in total. You'll take 11 to 14 minutes to speak. There are 2 different types of questions. You will have questions with an examiner, or you'll have, and you will have on your own. So you'll be speaking on your own. Okay, now I have a question for you. How can you feel more prepared for the IELTS Academic? Let's think. How do you feel more prepared for an exam? What do you do? For me, what I do is I take a look at the whole exam and break it down into sections of which skills that I would need to learn more about. Then I would take a look at how it is structured. But here, let me show you some questions that you would need to ask yourself. Okay, so this is what is included in the exam. Make yourself familiar with it. Ask yourselves these questions. Which skills are tested? How many parts are there? How long is the exam, so the time? And what types of questions does it include? What types of vocabulary do you need to know? And what structure should you learn? Okay, or which structures, I should say rather. Okay, so ask yourselves these questions. I'm sure once you know the answers to these questions, you'll feel more prepared and ready to take on this exam. Now, these are some things that you should do. You should create yourself a study timetable. But what is important about a study timetable? It's important to stick to it. Remember, try and do it. So if you say you're going to study on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then study on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday during those times. But also, set yourself some clear targets. It's important to have goals while you prepare for this exam. What do you want to achieve? And remember to action it. Okay. But your study timetable will definitely help you. Make sure you read English articles, blogs, newspapers every day. This is such an important thing that you should do. This will help to improve your vocabulary. This will help you to, during your reading section of your exam. So it's an important thing that you should do each day. And it will definitely make you feel more prepared. Another thing that you can do is practice as much as you can under exam-like conditions. But, what are exam-like conditions? Could you tell me? Good, yes. No eating and drinking. Excellent. Would you have your phone with you in an exam? No? So that's a good one. Thank you. No phones. Okay, so here are some things that you would need to have prepared for yourself to have a exam-like condition area. So you would have a very comfortable and quiet study room. Okay, so that's an important thing. Okay, so that you can concentrate while you are studying. Make sure it's comfortable because you're going to need to spend lots of time there while you study. Oh, this one's the exact one that you mentioned. No distractions. This includes screens, playing games, and also your phone. Say no to these things while you study. Okay, so here are some alternative study methods that I would like you to take a look at. One thing that you could do is make definition flashcards, create mind maps, make a checklist, keep a notebook or a diary, make a list of synonyms and antonyms, and listen to the radio. So these are things that you can do to help you study for this exam. But before we take a closer look at each of these alternative methods, I would like you to go and subscribe to our different channels, to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to our Pinterest. This will help you to feel more prepared for exams as we have content there that will help you, and you will have some tips and more tricks to help you with this exam, and you'll feel more prepared. So go on, go and subscribe. Well, let's take a look at our alternative study methods. The first one that I mentioned was make definition flashcards. Okay, so I'm going to show you a great one. So what you do is you add your definition to your cards, and this will help you to remember words that cannot be described physically. For example, maths. Okay, so you won't be using a picture. Okay. But how can we make flashcards? Okay, so we're going to take a closer look at how we make flashcards. Okay, let's see. So your definition flashcard, you would write the word, ta-da, here it is. Okay, here's my flashcard, collocations. So you would write the word there on the one side, and then on the other side, you would write the definition. Okay, so this is my example. So here's another one, lecture. A spoken lesson, talk, or conference. That is a lecture. So this is exactly what your definition flashcard would look like. The next study method would be making a mind map. I love making mind maps. This helps me remember everything that I need to about a concept. So think about that main concept. As I showed you my flashcard, collocations. This is something that I am learning about. So what I would do is I would write my main concept down. Okay, collocations. It can be about any concept that you are perhaps struggling with or just need to learn a bit more about. So you write your main concept in the middle of, you could write it on a cardboard, or you could write it on paper. Okay, then you start adding some branches. Okay, so for me, I would break it down. So here, collocations. Then I would break it down even further. Let me write an example. Lions roar. Okay, now I'm going to break it down even further. This is a noun and a verb. Okay, so that will help me remember that specific type of collocation. So that's an example of a mind map. But remember to keep these phrases short, just like this. It's short, it's simple. You'll be able to remember it. It's precise. Here's another example. Having a large family. Okay, and these are the points that are important about having a large family. We have positive points, we have negative points. So sharing a room, sharing responsibility, lots of love and sharing, and lack of attention. So these are some things that are associated with having a large family, and this will help you remember those points about that concept. The next study method would be a checklist. I think this is something that most of us do daily. But we're going to break this up. Okay, first, make a checklist. This will help you remember the most important things that you need to do when you're studying or when you're answering questions. Let's go see how it's broken up. First, as I mentioned, daily checklists. So daily checklists can be used for tasks that you need to complete every day or in that day. Okay. Then you also have situational checklists. These are checklists, okay, that can be used to remember the strategies and tips used when you answer exam type questions. So these are things that you would need to do in order to answer those questions. Okay, please remember, you must write them in order of importance. The first thing is the most important. You need to complete that first. And the last thing on your list is the least important. And you would complete that one last. This is an example of a checklist. Okay, so how to answer reading questions. And this is how we've broken that checklist up. It's just an example. So the first one would be read the questions first, underline the keywords, and look for synonyms. Okay. And once you've completed those tasks, you'll take it off of your list and you'll go down and complete those tasks. Oh, this one's a great one. Keep a notebook or a diary. This will definitely help you feel more prepared while you're studying. Notebooks can be used for numerous things, like dictionaries. You can write those words that you are unsure about in your notebook. You can write their definitions so that you can refer back to it. And this creates your own dictionary. But remember to use it. So go back and take a look at those words. Okay, so they can also be used as diaries. You can use them to write about your day, your feelings, your ideas, opinions. Okay, but you can even write short stories and poems in your diary. Okay, this will help you remember that vocabulary that you need to understand and know for your exam. That would be a fun, creative writing task for you. But how else can I benefit from a notebook? So how do you benefit from a notebook? I'd like you to think for a few seconds how you benefit from your notebook. Okay. Let's see how we can benefit. So, by keeping a notebook, you'll practice your writing. Oh, this is great. So you'll practice writing each day. And this is very important since you'll need to write a lot in your exam. Daily practice will help you improve your handwriting. And your hand won't hurt anymore. Oh, in those exams, when you're writing for a long period of time, your hand can get quite sore. So please practice daily. That will help you prepare for the written section. The next alternative study method would be a list of synonyms and antonyms. Remember, synonyms are words that have the same meaning. Okay, so attractive, beautiful. And antonyms would be the opposite. Night, day. That's a simple one. So make those lists. You can use your notebook for that. And it can help you also when you're writing your definitions and words that you're unsure about. You can also write alternative synonyms or antonyms underneath the definition to help you. Another alternative study method would be listening to the radio. This is such a good thing as it will help you to learn how to listen closely to what that person is saying and will help you prepare for the listening section. But let's take a look at it. Listening to the news. Okay, remember the news has a higher level of vocabulary and it's more sophisticated. This will help you with your listening skills and the vocabulary that you would need to know. You'll be able to learn different sentence structures as well. So this is a super important method that you can use, and it's simple. But one last thing to remember. Take a break. Take it easy. You would need to take a break every 40 minutes. This will help with concentration and improve your studying. But it's important to not lose focus when you take breaks. So don't take a very long break. Make it a bit shorter so that you can stay focused. This will help you to concentrate more on your goals and your tasks and your daily checklist and those things that you need to accomplish. But remember, you can do it. Yes, you can. Okay, I believe in you. And you would need to believe in yourself that you can do it. Thanks for watching our IELTS academic webinar on how to prepare for the exam. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be such a great step forward. But please remember, for more exam prep content, go and subscribe to our different channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. We have so many things for you to take a look at that will be a benefit to you. And remember, go subscribe to our IQ Global. There are many more things that you can go and look at. Blogs, and more video content. Okay, and of course, webinars. So go and take